and VICs, the startups supported by the incubators, the AMIC winners, the ACICs, the ATL students and teachers, if any, the mentors of change who have logged on to this webinar today and are with us as we sign this partnership, and all the other members of the AIM family and the AIM network who are here with us today. I hope all of you are healthy and safe and you're all fine and fit. Uh, Folks, we've always considered ourselves as a partner to your success, and we've never, we've tried hard to provide and go beyond merely funding for our beneficiaries. We've been providing trainings through the AMI Trust program, through the various webinars that we've done. We've always constantly brought speakers and experts on various topics to talk to all of you to make sure that you understand the subject of entrepreneurship and innovation much better. We've passed on to you a number of industrial partnerships with Indian and international corporate sector for providing market access, CSR benefits, so on and so forth. There have been a lot of innovation challenges that we have done with other partners where we've tried to get you to participate as far as possible. A number of innovation challenges that were done with the business, Sweden, Ministry of the various ministries of the Government of India, UNDP, UNICEF, and other partners. We have been trying to improve the market access of the startups of the AIM portfolio through, initiatives, strategic initiatives like the COVID Demo Day, and of course other industry partnerships that we've been signing up. And we have, provided the benefit of international collaboration through events like Inspreneur 3.0, which happened 2.0 and 3.0, which happened in Singapore, and also the delegation that we nominated and sent to Lyon, France. So you see, we've always tried to strengthen the relationship that we have and strengthen the success through all of these partnerships. Today, we try and strengthen our basket of offerings with another partnership that we're going to sign, and just adding another feather to our cap is a partnership that we're signing with Freshworks. And this will help in strengthening the efficacy of all the startups and the innovators that are part of the AIM family. Freshworks, of course, most of you would already know, is a global leader in cloud-based SaaS, and it has a number of software offerings, but I will not get into the details, and I will let the Freshworks team speak for themselves. But to get started, I would invite the Mission Director of Atal Innovation Mission, Mr. Ramanan, to please share his thoughts and his perspective about this partnership.
Thank you, Ishita, for those initial words, and good afternoon to everybody who has joined the call. As Ishita already said, this call is really a very important initiation of the partnership that we are going to have with Freshworks. And I thought it would be nice if all of you join this particular call and get to know what this partnership is all about and what it is enabling you to do. And before I proceed, I do hope everyone who is logged onto this call are also healthy and hearty in these very difficult COVID-19 circumstances, and that you're taking all the necessary safeguards advocated by your institution, by your health authorities, or by the government. A startup's world is often a very, very challenging world, because you are not only embarking upon a new idea that you want to convert into an innovation, to convert it into a product, and then convert it into a very successful company, but you also have to deal with a whole lot of issues which are not really related to your innovation per se, but in also becoming a very successful company. Because many times a startup, they have the valleys of death, as they call, and the valleys of death are not related to the innovativeness of the idea. Many times the ideas are very good, your innovation is excellent, there is no question about the technical superiority of your solution, if you will. But then what happens in the course of a life cycle of a startup is that they don't get access to all those other aspects that need to go into the success of a business. For after all, a successful business is all about taking a great idea and putting it into action in the marketplace. And to put it into the action in the marketplace, you need to understand what the customer's expectations are. You need to get a pulse of customer feedback, whether your product is being accepted the way you thought it would be accepted. You need to understand how do you penetrate the market through your sales capability, how you are able to differentiate and identify segments, customer segments which are receptive to your product versus targeting those who may really not be interested in the features of your particular product. You may be wanting to know what aspects of your product or your features or the services that you're offering are indeed relevant or are being implemented well and not being implemented well. You also need to know, you need to have critical insight into the analytics. There are a lot of people who are accessing your product, they're accessing various features, but there is a lot of data that you collect in the process, especially in today's world, because of social media, because of your access through the online world of marketing, distribution, and usage of your product. You are all the time collecting data, but there is somebody who should be able to analyze it, aggregate it, detect patterns in it, and be able to give you very critical pieces of information that is going to help you penetrate the marketplace better, or that is going to help you sharpen the features of your product more. That's going to introduce continuous improvements in your product. That's going to give you some new ideas that these are some of the add-ons that we require. That's also going to give you some ideas about what complementary partnerships you should enter into in order to make your product successful. So a startup often falls in a valley of death when you don't get the right sort of tools, technologies to support you in this venture. And therefore, you may be left floundering, thinking that why is it my product is not succeeding? Why is it that I'm not making an entry into the marketplace? How is it that some other product that you are seeing out there, which has half the features that what you have, is succeeding wildly and you are not? And when you look at all of this, you realize that there are many additional systems you need. You need a sales system, you need an effective CRM system, you need a good data analytics system, you need good intelligence, you need some tools to be able to penetrate into the marketplace in a very segmented manner. You need the ability to find out what the unique features of your competitors' products are that is appealing to the marketplace as compared to your own product. And that is where you build the differentiation in your, not only in your product but also in your approach to the market. Both are very important. You have to be very unique in terms of the solution that you're offering, but you have also to be unique in your approaches to the market, in your approach to your internal operations of your organization. How can you become more efficient? How can you become operationally much more smarter, much more intelligent, doing more with less, as they say? Because all of this goes into the success of a startup. You don't want to be burning off money, in this particular COVID-19 time, in times that we are unprecedented times that we are living in. We need to be able to ensure that we are increasing the cash runway, for example. And how do you ensure that you increase the cash runway? By optimizing on your spend, uh, adopting an 80-20 Pareto principle, where by spending 20% of your money, you have 80% of the impact. Now, that does not happen without access to tools, to technologies, and to analytics that you should be constantly looking at in order for your startup to become more efficient in its operation, smarter in its approach, and more penetrative into the marketplace. And that is why we are having this partnership with Freshworks. Freshworks has more than 40,000 customers, I believe, or 400,000. I don't know the number. I may be missing a zero somewhere. But more importantly, they have been able to, they are a SaaS, software as a service. Across in the last 20 years, I've been associated with the IT industry. And it all started off with first developing software solutions, then infrastructure as a service, cloud became one of the biggest providers of infrastructure as a service, and that's now, you don't have to buy your own servers, you don't have to buy your own network, you don't have to establish your own network, you don't have to establish large computing facilities. You are able to leverage the cloud in order to uh, create your product as well as push your product out in the marketplace, and much more effectively, without having to bother about, am I keeping myself up to date with the latest database management software, the clustering software, and so on and so forth. Similarly, software as a service has come up as a very, very important element in the growth of startup, because startups don't want to bother themselves with other things. You don't want to be bothering about developing your own CRM system, your own personal payroll management system, your own ERP system. That's not what your innovation is all about. Your innovation is in a particular vertical, whether it is biotech or healthcare, or it is in e-commerce, or it is in energy management, and so on. And you want to focus on that. But you do need access to all these other empowering tools to be able to operate your own startup, as well as operate your in a global environment which demands these sort of easy to use tools for you to be competitive in the marketplace. And I'm therefore very happy today to announce a partnership of Atal Innovation Mission with Freshworks. And as Ishita had shared, we are constantly looking at new partnerships, enabling partnerships that will help our incubators and the startups in our incubators become really world class. Because becoming world class means being very efficient, being very smart about the way you approach and do and execute things, as well as having world class innovation. And in all of this, the various initiatives that Atal Innovation Mission is doing for your sake, at the end of the day, you are free to use it or not use it. But there is a lot of due diligence that Atal Innovation Mission does with the help of experts and with the help of specialists in being able to validate some of the tools that are available outside, and where organizations like Freshworks are volunteering to help in this noble cause of promoting innovation and entrepreneurship. And therefore, I would recommend that all these initiatives, including the BMGF ICRES, AIM ICRES initiative that we have launched, for the benefit of all of you all. It is important for you all to avail of it. If you don't avail of it, I would think you would be the loser. Sometimes we have this, there's always this feeling that, I don't need to know anything more. I have everything that I require. I have the right tools available with me. I have the right knowledge available with me. I know about how incubators run. Nobody has to teach me anything more. I know how a startup is supposed to function. Yes, all of this, I am very sure that you have the knowledge, and you should have, because you are launched into that particular world. But then it is always beneficial to have a certain degree of humility about us, to learn more and to see how others are doing it. And I've always seen, in my personal life, I've seen that even if I think I know it all, but the moment I listen to somebody else, I say, that is something that I didn't know about. And this is something that I should be using. And it happens every time. Every time I listen to somebody, there is something I glean from that which is useful and which I have not thought of before or applied before. So, my request to everybody who's logged on to this call, all the incubator CEOs and the startups, please use it, utilize it. When you utilize it, you will see the power of it, and you will realize that it is for your benefit and for the benefit of the startup, the incubator. But if you don't do it, then I would say you'd be the loser, because you have not experimented and tried with it. And if you do find that there is something to improve in whatever are the initiatives that we are launching for you, please give us the feedback, because that's what here we are here for. We want to continuously improve, and we would also work with our partners to ensure that these are all relevant to you, are utilizable by you, and make a difference for you. At the end of the day, that's what we want. And you should be looking at us as enabling partners in your innovation journey, because that's what Atal Innovation Mission is all about. And I want to thank Freshworks. We have Nivas, Ravichandran, who is on this call, who's going to share a little bit more about what this partnership is going to entail every one of you. But I want to thank them because it is partnerships like this, collaborations completely on a voluntary basis. There is no commercial angle, there is no selfish angle, there is no nothing hidden behind the agenda in every one of our relationships that we have and we have established, whether it is with large corporates or whether it is with smaller companies or whether it is with individuals. The idea is everyone has something to contribute, and in that contribution they also grow, they also make an impact, they also succeed. And I'm sure Freshworks, with the usage of, we have now close to, I guess, more than 1,500 startups in the Atalam Innovation Mission community. That's enormous positive feedback or constructive feedback that Freshworks can get through this relationship. It's not that they are not benefiting from it, because at the end of the day, it is a customer who defines your product. And as the great Mahatma Gandhi said, the customer is king. And when we have that as an approach from a startup point of view, or from an incubator point of view, or from that point of view, even from an innovation point of view, for us, you are, in a manner of speaking, customers, though we are not having a transaction, financial transaction or commercial transaction at the end of it, but you are our customers, and in your success lies our success. Similarly, in the startup success lies the incubator success, and in the incubator success lies India's success. So with that, I want to thank Freshworks. I want to thank the Atal Innovation Mission team led by Ishita to have created this relationship. And I'm sure that you're going to see tremendous benefit not only from this partnership, but from other partnerships that AIM is establishing for the benefit of its family, which is the network of tinkering labs, incubators, community innovation centers, New India Challenge winners, as well as what we are going to be launching soon, Arise winners, who will be added to the entire family. So thank you all for patiently listening to me. And I request Mr. Nivas Ravichandran to share his thoughts on this particular occasion.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ramanan. Super happy to be speaking at this partnership launch. Actually, in fact, as Freshworks, we're pretty, just excited about some of the initiatives that Niti and the team are putting together with Ishita and the entire, we've been working with a couple of the government initiatives, and it's been such a pleasure to be working with. It doesn't feel like a government initiative. No offense, but yeah, just that it just feels so, it feels like a breeze to be working with some of these initiatives. And I'm not going to be speaking too much about the details, but just would want to kind of quickly talk a little about why Freshworks, or how, some of the accelerators or the incubators over here could get inspired, or probably can inspire your startups. So I don't know how much of you know the story of Freshworks, right? Like, we started off as Fresh Desk, a customer support software company, in 2010. Back then, if you think about it, the entire the startup system was just, very at a very nascent stage, very blooming from a product angle, right? Like, and there were more e-commerce companies or food tech companies, or let's say logistics tech, right? Like, the Ubers or the Olas of the world kind of emerging into the Indian ecosystem. And we were able to see a lot more of those companies receiving a lot of traction from either an incubation or an acceleration or even a VC standpoint, right? Like, everyone was joining these companies. It was so cool to also be a part of those companies. No questions. Just that I think at that time, Freshworks wanted to, or back then Freshdesk wanted to set out on a journey to kind of, so also just taking one step back, right? Like, India's been a great, we've had, like, over the last 20 years, we've been a great services nation, right? Like, we've done a lot of very interesting stuff for the world. But to be talking about what are the different products that have come from India and how we've made our country proud with respect to it being, like, world-class products being built from India. we don't have a lot of very proud stories to be telling the world, right? So that is one of the things that we are off to on our journey, where we want to be building, or we are building, world-class products from India for the world, right? Like, I mean, if you see, there are chances where companies can put countries on the global map, right? Like, if you think about how many of you know where Finland is exactly, right? It's very difficult sometimes to kind of point out on the map, saying, "Hey, this is where Finland is," right? Like, but I think all of us knew what Nokia did to the world, right? Like, I mean, that is what a company or a product company can do to the world, right? Like, they literally put Finland on the global map, or even be it Skype, right? I don't know how many of you know Skype was started in this country called Estonia, right? Like, I don't even know how many of us know where Estonia is, but just that Skype has become even more popular. And today, me talking about Skype, saying, "Hey, it's from Estonia," is all because of Skype putting Estonia on the global map, right? So I think we have a huge opportunity in front of us, where we can really build world-class products from India. There are companies that are set out to do that. We have I mean, we've had a very great journey in building. Today, we're a $3.5 billion valued business. And in fact, we also revealed our like official revenue to the world, just to kind of help the next generation of global SaaS or software product companies to be coming out of India, right? So today, I mean, Fresh Desk has become Freshworks, where we have 12 global offices. And I mean, Chennai in Tamil Nadu in India is still where 80 to 90% of the workforce sits. I think now it's kind of more split because of the COVID-19 situation. So Girish, the CEO of Freshworks, jokes that earlier we had 12 offices. After COVID hit, we have 3,000 offices, right? Because we have 3,000 employees, people are working out of their homes. So these are super, I mean, these are tough times. I know everyone's talking about this, but I don't want to go too deep into it. But I'll also tell you just one important thing that you can realize, right? Like, today, everyone's connecting on a Zoom call or a video call or a WebEx call, right? So the angle that a US or anyone in the world has is the same angle that you have, the advantage, right? Like, they're not going and meeting people to sell or things like that, right? So if you have a great, all the right resources and the tools and the right mentorship, which I think is being really, I mean, there are huge leaps of steps being done in a country where I mean, we're very huge in terms of population. There are like a lot of challenges. I think we're making some large strides towards becoming a very strong product nation, a startup nation. And we are absolutely happy to support some of these initiatives being done. And so Thomas and Amrita from our team are going to be walking you through a little more of the more detailed stuff about how some of the initiatives in the program works. I just thought I'll give you a quick overview of what we're trying to achieve as Freshworks. And we're absolutely happy to be partnering with Atal Innovation Mission. And the team at Atal has been super, I mean, they've had like, again, as I mentioned, it's been such a breeze to be working with them in terms of this partnership. And we're really hoping a lot more of the startups kind of grow from India. And so I think Mr. Ramanan hit it very hard in a very good way, right? Like, where we do have an angle in terms of, okay, we would love to have startups grow with us, right? Like, I mean, but our tagline is kind of called customers for life, right? So what we would want you to do is help startups, you folks, or I mean, your startups, to win customers for life, so that we can have you, the startups, as customers for life for us, right? So that's for that, I'll probably wrap, and I'll pass it back to Ishita and Ram. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Emma. And I really, really hope that some of the startups who are logged on to this call today with us and some of the incubators to become global household names for products coming out of India. And with that, I would now like to invite Thomas and Anvita from the startup team at Freshworks and the BD team at Freshworks to please take us through the operational details of how this will work and how can all the AIM beneficiaries who are on this call right now, and even if they're not on this call right now, how will they be able to access the suite of products and the credits that are being offered by Freshworks? Over to you, Thomas and Amrita.
Yeah, I think, Ishita, before we do that, once again, I want to thank Nivas for sharing his views on this relationship, and we are as excited as you are in being able to launch this. All I want to tell all the other startups is, you have to also take inspiration from how Freshworks has grown. They were also a startup to begin with, like every one of you, and I'm sure that many of the features that they have created in their products are things that they felt were absent and which should have helped them in a very big way when they were growing themselves. So, it is something that they have learned the hard way, and they are enabling you now to follow the easier way of leveraging their tools. So, thank you so much, both Nivas, as well as Inkosh, Koshi.
Thomas.
Yes, Thomas.
So thank you so much, and I just wanted to convey my deep appreciation for all the help that you're offering. Yeah.
Mr. Ramanan and Nivas, may I request you to hold up the SOI and probably, sort of acknowledge the signing. This is a virtual signing, of course. So if you could just, you know, do a thumbs up and exchange a virtual handshake.
Nivas, you're on mute. Please.
Yeah, I think my version is in the office, unfortunately, Ishita. So I just have this agenda in front of us to show you.
So I think that will do for the digital selfie, I guess.
Okay.
I think I also have that. Let me just, yeah. I have it on my iPad. I did not have this thing, so.
Okay, I think that is a better one. Yeah, why don't you show that?
Yeah.
Can take a selfie picture with that. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kamanan and Nivas. May I now hand it over to Thomas and Amrita?
Sure. Thank you so much, Mr. Ramanan and Ishita and Nivas, for this wonderful introduction and helping us understand and make sure that we add value to the startup ecosystem. We're really honored and privileged to be announcing this partnership with Atal Innovation Mission. I'll just quickly run you all through a quick presentation just to help you understand what are the benefits that we're all eligible for and how to avail them. Are you all able to see my screen? Sure. Great.
Yeah.
So as Nivas actually gave a quick intro, I'll just also maybe run you through a deeper understanding of how Freshworks started and how our journey grew. We started off back in 2010, 2011, where we started off as a customer support software. And now we've evolved into a customer engagement suite, where we have tools right from marketing automation to customer success, to a chat widget, to a call it widget, tools that are required to win customers for life, as we tag it, to improve operational efficiency and make a lot of manual processes automated. So we are supported by a few of the marquee investors in the industry, right from Google Capital to Axel to Sequoia to Tiger. And we are present in more than 120 countries across the globe. And as Nivas mentioned, we have 11 to 13 offices globally. And now we are present 3,000 offices around the globe. So to talk more about the startup program initiative in specific, we kind of started this initiative as a paid forward motion, where we saw that a lot of the young startups need to leverage tools and resources to scale and grow in the ecosystem. So having the resources and the network that we had, we wanted to pay it forward and extend a lot of the knowledge base, a lot of the mentorship, a lot of the leadership that we were able to gather and garner along our journey, and try to foster and nurture the ecosystem that we have in place, not just in India, but across the globe for all the aspiring entrepreneurs and business aspirants across the globe. So ideally, we work on 3 verticals. 3 to 4 verticals is what we focus on. The first one is fairly straightforward, and we are exclusively extending these benefits to the Akal Innovation Mission beneficiaries. We're talking about 4,000 USD worth of credits split across 8 to 12 of our products. So it's ideally capped at $500 per product, which would mean, or which would translate to, you can say 10 months to a year based on the number of users that you want or based on the requirements that your business curtails. And talking about the second vertical, which is white glove onboarding, we've noticed that a lot of these young SMBs kind of resort to basic functional tools like you can say Excel or Word. And we wanted to leverage the tools that we have and support these startups and help them understand that there are a lot of tools and CRM tools, marketing automation tools that you can work on and improve the operational efficiency and kind of leverage upon to kind of automate these manual processes. So we have a dedicated team to kind of help onboard you and help you understand how to use these tools. So we have, you can say, as and when you kind of register or want to avail the benefits, we have a dedicated team who will run you through a demo and help you understand what's the perfect fit for your startup. And the third vertical is, you can say, mentorship and resources. We have a great pool of leaders nationally and internationally who have gone through various topics and hurdles to kind of reach the position where we are. So we're trying to frame a structured network where you can approach us and launch into a platform where you can choose the right mentors within specific verticals and across regions. So right now we're doing a lot of engagements, right from webinars to roundtables. And our forte kind of lies in, you can say, enterprise sales, customer marketing, product marketing. So we're more than happy to we can take a public poll on what other interesting topics that you want some insights on. And we're more than happy to loop in relevant leaders and share some insights on our journey as well. And now moving on to, you can say, the fourth vertical as well, which we're talking about the products. I'm going to hand it over to Amrita, who will quickly run you through all the tools that we have in our suite and further explain a couple of use cases to help you understand how to use these in your day-to-day businesses. So over to you, Amrita.
Right. Yeah, hello everyone. So I'm Amrita. Like Thomas said, I'm from the sales team and I'm part of onboarding customers to Freshworks, kind of use all our products that we have. And to talk about our products, we can simply classify them into 3. One would be customer acquisition, customer retention, and internal collaboration as well. So where you see customer engagement, there are 3 products here, and in between we have 2. I'll just quickly give you a brief of how all the 5 together will help you kind of acquire customers and make sure they are customers for life, right? Fresh Sales is our CRM tool. To start off with, CRM is basically like a prime need for every company because it's something that the sales team uses, and sales is something that we all, in terms of company, focuses on. So you as a team work towards getting out leads. It might be inbound or it might be outbound, digital marketing, or just cold calling or reaching out to them on LinkedIn. But what happens to those leads once you reach out to them? How do you keep track of that? How many leads are actually converted to a customer? And if they're not converted to a customer, where are we going wrong? Is it in terms of engagement, or is it product features, or is it what are we missing? Where are they dropping off? Is something that Fresh Sales can help you handle. And at any point of time, you can pull up a report and you can see the details of where what's happening with every lead, how many opportunities were created, and where the drop-offs are happening. These insights will actually help you organize your marketing better in terms of positioning your products on a website or on an ad, or in terms of fine-tuning people that you reach out to on LinkedIn to kind of understand which verticals work for a business. Where do we see conversions happening and all of that? So Fresh Sales as a whole can help you there. Fresh Marketer, on the other hand, is our email marketing tool. So let's say out of the 10 leads that you generate today, there were opportunities created for 5. But what happens to the other 5? We need to make sure that we keep engaging with them, right? Just kind of make sure that they remember our brand. How do companies do that? They do that through email marketing. So they send out campaigns, they send out product updates, they send out launch information and all of that. So keeping in touch with your customers, existing customers, people who on some level been associated with your brand is something that Fresh Marketer can help. Creating custom campaigns for all of them and making sure every email reaches to them in terms of promotional content or any content for that matter is where Fresh Marketer can help you. As a combination, Fresh Sales and Fresh Marketer is both on the sales front, and they help you generate leads and kind of track the process of how they go from a lead to a conversion state, right? And Fresh Desk is our customer support tool. Like Nivas said, it's the first tool that we launched, and it's primarily a ticketing tool as a whole. And where Fresh Desk comes into picture is where you have an email that your customers write to. You open it on Gmail, and someone responds to it, someone doesn't. We don't know what's happening with that, right? We don't know what kind of queries keep coming from the customer side. We can't pull reports if it's just a Gmail that you're using for customer support. Where Freshdesk can help you is kind of categorize and bucket the kind of queries that you get. Where can we do better? So if there is a particular feature or a particular area where we get a lot of queries, that's a report that you can take, right? In terms of sales insights, we know where we target our customers, but what do we do for the existing customers as well? If there's a common query that comes across, it's something that we need to work on as a team to make it better for our customers as well. So that's where Freshdesk can help you. And what promise are we giving in terms of engagement? There's an email that comes from the customer, and we have an SLA saying someone will reach out to them in 3 hours. Is that being followed? Is that being reached? What is the customer satisfaction on that front? All of that can be tracked using Freshdesk. And email on some level is kind of a normal communication mode. Where Fresh Chat is different is that it gives a very modern experience of engaging with customers. I would say Fresh Chat is more aligned to a sales and a support use case as a whole. Fresh Chat is something that you can have on your website to engage with customers that come in for the first time. So someone who is just a sales prospect, Fresh Chat can be used for lead generation on that front. Pull that data into Fresh Sales, pass it on to your sales team and get in touch with them for a sale. But if they're an existing customer, if you want Fresh Chat to be on your app where customers can reach out to you for queries, that is also possible. With Fresh Chat, we promise instantaneous replies, right? And let's be honest, none of us like to be left on hold or to be left on red. And when we promise a chat experience, instantaneous answers are very important. And if we are in a place where our agents aren't able to take that specific answer, that is kind of putting the customer in a bad position. That's where our AI engine, Freddy, comes into picture. We kind of have bots that can be customized according to the kind of queries that you have, create workflows inside the chat itself. So as soon as a query comes in, you can have a bot enter and you can take the query from the customer. Depending on the query that the customer has, give them solutions. If the bot is not able to answer the question, then pass it on to an agent. This is a kind of approach that a lot of companies prefer, because this reduces the load on an agent front, and it just makes sure that the customer is not left on red and there are no chats that are left unattended because the agent was busy or something, right? So Fresh Chat and Fresh Desk together offers a support experience. Fresh Caller is very straightforward. It's our cloud telephony tool. So Fresh Caller also kind of clubs between Fresh Sales and Fresh Desk, where you can use Fresh Caller to make a sales call as well, have that call recorded. So all three work together for a customer engagement, both pre-sales and post-sales. So this is in terms of customer facing when we talk about our products. Internally, we have Fresh Service and Fresh Ping. Both can be used by the IT team to track IT requests, manage your assets. And if you have a problem change release option in your company where you deploy features and all of that, Fresh Service and Fresh Ping can help you there as well. Fresh Team is very specific to your HR use case. So if you are looking at aggressively hiring and you're deploying a website page with listing the careers option that you have, Fresh Team can help you there. Instead of just going and changing the HTML code every time you change the listing, you can do it through Fresh Team, where it's just very simple to update and use. And what happens with the applicants that are applying, how many are pushed into interviews, how many have gone through interviews, how many have been hired, and once they're hired, how do you onboard them? You can kind of have an onboarding package. This is for tracking and bringing in applicants, but managing your employee payroll itself can be done using Fresh Team. You can manage leaves and time offs and organizational charts using that. So that's just a very generic overview of the products that we have. And I guess I'll pass it over to Thomas to take it forward here.
Sure. Thank you so much, Amrita. That was a wonderful overview of all the tools. For all the startups and all the program managers who are watching right now, we're more than happy to have dedicated demos for all of you to understand how these tools are more beneficial for your respective businesses. So feel free to reach out. I know that all of you are wondering, how do we avail these benefits? How do we reach out to the team? So we'll have the AIM team kind of reach out to you with an email where we have a specific link, and all you have to do is register with your name and the details and your email ID, and you'll have our team reach out to you within 48 to 72 hours. Post which we will understand your business requirements and conduct demos on tools that you think would be greatly beneficial to you. So another vertical that I wanted to also stress upon is if there are B2B SaaS companies as well amongst the beneficiaries, we have a special, you can say, benefit or a perk where we do allow an integration possibility into the Freshworks marketplace. So we're more than happy to bring you into the limelight of our customers. So we have close to 250,000 customers across the globe. So we're more than happy to bring you into the limelight and visibility so that you can also create, you can say, a lead list of potential customers to help thrive your business. So we're more than happy to extend that as well. Moving on to the next slide. So if you want to know which are the startups that are growing with Freshworks, we have a wide range of startups, right from 1 to 2 member employee startups all the way to unicorns and now even decacorns who have been growing along with Freshworks, right from Byju's to Rapido to Dunzo. And this is just the Indian ecosystem that we're talking about. Moving on to the ecosystems and the global partners that we are associated with. We have already tied hands with Y Combinator, Techstars, a few of our own investors like Axel and Sequoia, and we're more than honored to extend these benefits, these exclusive benefits to the AIM family as well. To understand a few stats on where we stand since the program inception that we started back in, I think, January of this year, we've been able to open up and extend these benefits to more than 2,300 startups across 87 countries in the globe. And to talk about a few of the engagements, which we're more than happy to even conduct along with the AIM family here on. We've had, you can say, webinars, roundtable formats, as I mentioned, and we're more than happy to invite all of you to a few of these as well. We have more open sessions, right from, you can say, talking about legal, how do you raise funds, how do you generate leads. These are all done across the globe. And we also had closed door sessions with just 10 to 12 founders, where we had one even last week with GeoGen Next family, where we talk about very specific topics and help in more real-time answers so that we can understand and help yours more specifically, your startups more specifically. Here's another interesting initiative that we kind of kickstarted this year as part of the Freshworks for Startup program. And we're, you can say, in line to do more of these along the way, not specifically in this format, but in various other formats that we look forward to. So the Against All Odds Startup Summit, I'm sure a lot of you may have been able to join. We had a stellar lineup of speakers, right from Rajan Anandan to Priya Rajan to our beloved CEO Girish, right from the PhonePe CTO Rahul, talking about very real-time scenarios where the industry is headed, how to navigate through these tough times, how do they scale their companies from, you can say, 0 to 1 million to 10 million and beyond. So we'll be doing a lot more sessions such as these through various formats, and we're more than happy to invite the whole AIM ecosystem onto this partnership and platform. And another interesting initiative as part of this summit that we did kind of drive was connecting VCs to startups. We saw a lot of the marquee investors joining us for this initiative, and we've heard from them and a lot of feedback that they were able to identify a lot of gems within the ecosystem where they were able to support a lot of the young startups, and they're all in discussion to raise funds. So we're more than happy to invite you for these 1:1 connects, and you could stand a chance to win funding and raise funding for your startups as well. So to wrap it up, on a whole, we're more than happy to announce this partnership with the AIM family. And as our beloved CEO, Girish, always says, startups are the lifeblood of many economies around the world. And we wish to help the startups engage better with their customers and help them win customers for life. So on this note, feel free to reach out to us. You'll have a detailed email being sent across to all the program managers and the startups on how to avail these benefits. If there are any inquiries, feel free to reach out to startup@freshworks.com, or you can even specifically reach out to me where I've listed out my email ID, which will be shared across by the team as well. So looking forward to working with you all and fostering the ecosystem. Please do share if you have any questions right now. We're more than happy to answer them. If it's any product-specific related questions, I think Amrita can tackle it. If it's anything about the program, I'm more than happy to answer them. Or you can always reach out to us by mail. So over to you, Ishita, and we look forward to the next
Thank
steps.
you. Thank you, Thomas, and thank you, Amrita. This was very informative, and I do hope all the startups who have joined us today and all the incubators who have joined us today are able to get some, are able to derive the value out of it and leverage this program and our partnership to the maximum. Nivas, I guess, had to leave a little early, and I'd just like to,
Yes.
on our behalf, please do pass on our thanks to Nivas and the entire team of Freshworks for, providing this huge leverage to our startups.
It's an
If
honor
there
to
are any
be
questions, I just like to repeat, if there are any questions that any of the startups or the incubators have, they can please type this in the comment section of the YouTube channel, or they can even message it to us on the WhatsApp group for our incubators that we have. In the meantime, Thomas, I have a question for you. By when do you think will we be able to roll this out to all our ecosystem?
So right now, we've sent across the specific link and the emailer to the team. So as soon as you shoot out an emailer, we are ready to go.
Good to go. Oh, that's great. And is there
Yes.
something specific that the startups would need to, avail this benefit? So how will they identify that, how will you identify that they are from the AIM family and they need to be passed on these benefits?
Right. So as we've created a very specific link that's only exclusive to the AIM family, and this is not it's not indexed on Google, so it's not available to everyone. So it's only through this link that they can avail the benefits. So I've shared across the mail to you as well as Malika. So all they have to do is just register on that link, and we will know that we've seen an interest from your community, and we'll have our team reach out within 48 to 72 hours, and we'll then handhold them with the next steps on how to avail the benefits.
All right. Great.
Yeah, I would just recommend that any startup from the Atal Incubator family that leverages this should be a registered startup in Startup India. It should provide their startup ID. Without that, please do not accept the startup, because that's the type of startup that we want to immediately avail of all these benefits.
Okay.
They should be either registered they should have a startup ID, and they could also have a MSME ID, registration ID. Secondly, there has to be a process of validation of the startup availing it from Atal Innovation Mission, that there is some sort of certification by the incubator that they are a registered startup of theirs, as well as the Atal Innovation Mission should be aware of it. So
For sure.
kindly make sure that that is.
Sure. We'll have a monthly cadence of sorts where we run through all the startups who've shown interest and get a confirmation from the team to go ahead.
Second, I had a question. Can you elaborate a little more on the mentoring network that you are enabling, and how is it accessible to all the startups?
Definitely.
And how is it accessible?
Right. So right now we're actually formalizing a platform or a structured network where all of the startups through our partners can actually come onto the link and view who all are the mentors in our network right now, and you can say request time slots, which verticals, which region. So we're talking about another 2 to 3 months where we can actually formalize and get that structure in place. But in the meantime, we are more than happy to conduct monthly sessions, or you can say quarterly sessions, where if there's any specific topic by the AIM community that they want mentorship on, we can do a general webinar or a general roundtable discussion, and for a 45-minute to 1 hour slot where I can loop in directors, functional leaders, VPs from our side to talk about very specific topics. We can do that. That's one. And also, if there's any specific startups who want to have a 1:1 session, we're more than happy to consider that as well. They can reach out directly to my email ID, or even one of the members from the AIM team can request these 1:1 slots, and I could work around and see what are the available possibilities for this situation.
Okay, so you would be enabling a platform after a couple of months,
Yes.
but in
Yes.
the meantime, if you can share, areas of mentorship and
Mm-hmm,
features
mm-hmm.
that are there, then people can connect with you and say that whether it is in a particular vertical or whether it is in a particular technology
Definitely.
area or whether it is in a financial and business management area, we can.
Mm-hmm,
What is your just to get an idea? How big
mm-hmm.
is the mentorship network right now?
So right now we do have close to 30 plus leaders on board.
Okay.
So it's as and when required that we kind of reach out to them, but we're trying to again structure the whole network and try to make it more accessible to all
All
these
right.
startups through our partners.
Okay.
So right now it's very ad hoc, you can say, as and when required, we kind of arrange it and move forward.
Excellent. Excellent.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other
That's
questions from any of the other startups or the incubator CEOs? Or
um, so I have another question, Thomas. I understand that these credits are not just for the startups of the AIM family, whether it's supported by the incubators or the ANX program, but also for the incubators themselves. Is that correct?
Yes, they can also avail it through the same link.
yeah.
Okay. And then they will have to register themselves as an incubator, of course. Is there like a drop down or something that lets them select
They
themselves
just have to
as
mention
a
it. I think there's a field which mentions what they are.
okay.
So I think they just have to mention it there, and we will take it forward from there.
All right.
All right, awesome. And if they have to arrange sessions for understanding how the products work, is there also a link on the same page that you'll be sending out to everyone for questions and support, or how does it work?
Right. So I think for the individual chapters, I think I would recommend that the program managers maybe reach out to me by mail so that I can arrange the sessions if required. Or
Okay.
if there are very specific product demos that the startups need, all they have to do is register themselves, and we actually have a team dedicated for the startups, so they can
Okay.
understand the business more one is to one and help them realize which tools are more beneficial to them on a personal note.
Okay. Now we have just about 3-4 minutes left, and we'll take some questions that we're getting from all the people who've logged on to YouTube.
Sure. Sure.
Someone has asked us, do we get access to global partners through this partnership?
So global partners is when we do such events, like you can say the Against All Odds Summit, or when we do large scale events, we will definitely open up these partner, or you can say VC connects, where they can, where they'd have to send a request, and so it's more of less like a double opt-in, where the startups send a request to these VCs, and the VCs, based on the bio and the stage of investment that you are in, they'll kind of filter you and accept you in to have a one-to-one connect. So we'll be facilitating more such events throughout our journey, and we'll make sure that we have this exposure to all the startups.
Absolutely. And from a chat that I had with Nivas earlier today, we have already discussed that any large events that you would have in the future, which are based out of India or for the APAC region, we'd like to be a partner there and try and see what is it that we can contribute to it and how our incubators and startups can be a part of that. The
Absolutely.
next question.
Right from this minute, every event that we're doing, make sure to invite the AIM family.
Absolutely.
Right.
The next question that we have is there a duration of this partnership for the incubator?
Right. So this partnership, since we've signed it right now, even virtually, this partnership is for life. But talking about the credits in specific, it's based on the number of users. So let's say we have a $4,000 credit benefit, and each product is at $500, you can say. So let's say any of the startups want to use one or two. So it's basically on the number of licenses that they want that the credits will exhaust. So ideally, we've seen that it should last them, if they're using one or two users, it should last them 10 months to a year. Post that, if they want to proceed, they'll have to move on to a paid subscription.
Understand. And similarly, the same thing for the incubators as well. Right?
Yes, yes. So we are giving that whole experience of helping them leverage these tools and help them understand. So we're giving them a good leeway of time to understand how these tools work and how it's helped them to grow. And post which, if they like to continue using it, we're more than happy to help them get onboarded as well.
Okay. The last question that we can take for today, given that we're already at 5:30, can the
Right.
incubators extend the credits according to its needs or is this 4,000 USD negotiable?
So if there are more mature incubators who have a higher requirement, we are open to extending more credits or more discounts. But I would recommend that they reach out to me personally, so that I get to understand the use case and I can extend the right benefits to them based on their requirements.
Okay, great. And they can also write to us and we'll connect them to Thomas in case they haven't already got Thomas's email. Noted.
Yes.
Please don't worry about it. For all the incubators, startups, and everyone else in the AIM family that's logged on to the YouTube channel with sending us more questions, I would request you to please just email the questions to us and we will get those answered by the Freshworks team and send the responses back to you. We are at 5:31 and we need to wrap up the session. Mr. Ramanan, are there any last thoughts, comments from your side, sir, before we just thank the Freshworks team?
Yeah, first of all, Ishita, I want to thank Freshworks again for extending all of these benefits and these credits to our incubator family of startups as well as to the incubators themselves. I think this is something that will be very, very useful to everybody. We encourage everyone to leverage it. We also would appreciate your feedback on the utility value that this is bringing to your own efficiency, to your operations, and to your success, because that will be not only a tremendous value to Freshworks, but also to Atal Innovation Mission for seeing how we can enable this or scale up such an initiative even further. I think the presentations by the Freshwork team were very comprehensive in listing out what are all the possibilities that you have in leveraging their this partnership, and I am sure that this is going to play a very important role in our incubator and startup family. All I want to once again urge everyone, the incubator CEOs who have logged on, or even if they have not logged on, please look at this. I would advise the Atal Innovation Mission team to share the link of this YouTube session to all, and would request all the CEOs to pass this on to all the startups too within their incubator, so that they get a chance to go through the session if they didn't have the opportunity to attend it. And finally, I would request Freshworks that on a quarterly basis at least, if not initially maybe with on a monthly frequency, just to be able to let us know how this is being leveraged, so that if there is any step up in terms of messaging, communication from our side that is required, we will do that. At the end of the day, the utilization of your offer is key to the value that it can bring to the entire startup community of Atal Innovation Mission, and also not only the Atal Innovation Mission incubators, but also the ACIC and partnerships who are ANIC, the Atal New India Challenge partners who are logged on to this call. So thank you so much for enabling this, Mr. Koshy, Mr. Nivas, as well as Amrita, for sharing your thoughts on this particular occasion.
Thank you so much. We look forward to this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ramanan, for your time, and thank you, Thomas, Amrita. Please do thank Nivas on our behalf. And we know that this partnership will help our startups and our incubators focus on the core innovation or the core entrepreneurship and leave the business part to you guys. Thank you, and we look forward to a fruitful partnership.
May I also recommend to Freshworks that if you can create a FAQ database of questions, frequently asked questions, then that will be very useful. We'll publish it to all the startups.
Yeah, we can send it out to our database.
Yeah. Actually, on that link that we've sent across, it's all there's an FAQ section with a lot of you can say information.
That's great.
Okay. Thank you.
Brilliant. Sure.
Great.
All right. Thank you so much.